under a rock, or you can turn yourself in, but they are ruthless, hungry and in power again.
Welcome, folks, to the latest episode of Henry Kissinger Is Pokemon Going to Die Not a Threat?
Just a fact.
This is the number one leftism podcast by, for, and of dumbasses. I am Sarah, a.k.a. Eric, make that ass Clapton.
I'm Matt, a.k.a. Canadian political prisoner Jordan B. Emoji Peterson.
I'm Lauren, a.k.a. Toblerone v. Wade.
Nice.
I'm Sam, a.k.a. the TSA Respecter.
You wanna... Oh.
And I'm Caroline, a.k.a. Jeff as Beastos.
Excellent. Thank you very much to our comrades and comrades who have been posting in the free nicknames chat, because 3 of us used them this week.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for
we come to you in this time of need, and you deliver. God damn, you deliver.
We truly ran out of the ability to come up with nicknames.
Yeah, that's kind of the...
I love to outsource our jokes.
We have never made a joke on this podcast, and hopefully tonight we can finally break that 36 episode streak of no
Fuck
jokes.
No.
Yeah,
this
my
is
favorite
not
thing about
36. I don't think
that
that's
channel
right.
is that it's people who pay us money, and then they also give us jokes.
33.
many
This
episodes?
is episode 33.
I was close.
You were.
I mean, we shouldn't have called it free nicknames if we didn't want to, like... It's crowdsourced.
Well, as
what the fuck is
socialists,
it?
we believe
It is
everything should be
socialism.
free.
Yeah.
I'm
it
actually
is
just going to rename
socialism.
the channel right now. It's Collectivized Nicknames.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Solidarity.
And yeah, so you guys might have noticed that we just didn't do an episode last week.
Oops.
Oh, I
You want
remember
to
that.
know why, though?
That's because literally everyone who is on this episode was in Philadelphia shouting about Jon Snow eating his aunt's pussy at the post Game of Thrones meetup, 2K18.
AKA the reason that we all know each other and that we talk to each other every week and record it.
Yeah, we tried to record an episode. I just was coughing every 3 seconds. So
Yeah, and also
Sam was coughing.
Because
we
he was
also-
I
smoking
have a
that
brain
weed.
disorder.
yeah.
Yeah,
my cough has not gone away, but I did drink that sweet orange drink, that good DayQuil. So
Oh,
I'm ready to
nice.
go.
I thought you
Very
just like
cool.
drink like a cup full of lube. Just lube it right down.
Well,
alright.
yeah, I mean, for some of us, DayQuil is lube.
I mean, are we talking water-based or no?
DayQuil.
I just mean throat lube.
DayQuil.
Okay, throat lube.
It's called DayQuil.
AKA water.
They sell it at Pep Boys.
Yeah, of course. How else are you supposed to deal with the inevitable tummy troubles that Pep Boys will give you?
It was the tummy troubles house.
It was the tummy troubles.
Like I don't usually have tummy troubles, but I inherited them from everyone else in the house.
Yeah, I had tummy troubles while I was there.
Yeah, my tummy troubles were completely absent that entire weekend.
I walked into an
wonderful.
American McDonald's and immediately developed diarrhea.
Right then and there on the floor of the McDonald's.
Yeah.
I mean, we had like a really cool bathroom, so it was like fine. You know, we had a
About-
sink
yeah,
in
the
the
shower.
The
shower.
bathroom
Sink
A
in
had
the
a sink in the
shower.
shower, and B shocked you if you tried to turn on the light switch.
Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, I got
I did
shocked.
very much forget at one point. And
The thing about the shower sink that worked out really well, though, is that the only body wash in there was like a Dr. Bronner's that you had to like super dilute to use, and I literally just filled the sink with water and used it to do my soap.
Wonderful.
There you go.
See, American ingenuity and Canadian ingenuity. brought
Canadian
together.
engineer, come on. We drove 15 hours to come
Yeah,
down.
you drove
Why
so
did you
many
do
hours.
that?
And you got attacked by the Border Patrol.
Yes,
We
they
love
did
and
indeed.
respect.
the funny
We-
racist border patrol.
Yes,
the
they
fun-
did do a lot of funny racism at the busload of Chinese tourists.
It's so funny.
And you had to swear an oath on the Bible that you have never smoked weed in your life.
Yeah, we actually did do that, and
Under the
no,
gaze of a giant portrait of the president, our very
Yes.
wonderful wet president.
Well, he was in the
the
Bible.
wet,
I love
moist
my
president.
president.
Even the portrait was wet.
Ooh.
It was just dripping off the wall. No, my favorite part is when Linus.
Man, those
When
drops
Linus
follow
was,
you across the room.
They do. When Linus was talking to like the initial, like the one at the post, like before you actually go into the building, he's like, "Yeah, we all met because we do a podcast together." And I just looked at him, and it's like, you're not gonna mention like this one, are you?
That's the opposite of what I did at the airport.
TSA respecter Sam Cannon.
Yeah, please, Sam, please
Sam
was
was
tell us your
arrested for
airport.
podcast crime.
Yeah, so Brooks and I were at the airport together, And so he can attest. He watched all of this happen. I went through the fucking X-ray thing, and you go through the thing so many times, you learn what you do and don't have in your pocket. Sometimes you forget when there's an additional thing there, which is a mood emoji pin that Roy of the show, Roy Fuck Warlock, gave us. So I just went through the thing, and they're like, "Do you have anything in your pocket, sir?" I was like, "What? I shouldn't." And then I just pulled it out, and then I made the mood face, and then I just flipped it upside down, and I said, "Nope, yep, yeah, pat me down. Whatever you gotta do, it's nothing, please."
Oh God.
And then I also,
if you're listening to this and you're like, "What the fuck is mood?" Join the Discord server.
And then I also got, they went through my bag, and the guy found my microphone, and he was like, "What is this for Twitch?" I was like, "No, it's something like that." He's like, "What, podcasting?" I was like, "Yeah, it's podcasting." He's like, "What do you podcast about?" I'm like, "Oh, dumb stuff."
I like how he clocked you as a gamer immediately.
I should have just said, "Yes, it's for Twitch."
Yeah.
You're gamer passing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He was like, "What kind of dumb stuff?" I was like, "The kind of dumb stuff that I don't talk about at an airport." Brooks is just watching all of this.
Man arrested for does podcast.
Oh
Drink
God.
goes
He was like,
Accused of
"What kind of
Ricardo's
dumb stuff?
podcast."
The kind of dumb stuff where you're going to talk about me on the podcast?" I was like, No, of course not.
Every time
like
I cross
that,
the border, I'm afraid that they're going to open up my Twitter timeline and just see that I've tweeted the word guillotine 80 times in a row. Like, right now, my entire feed is like all the tweets I've retweeted about MU Paradise shutting down, because I literally spent this entire morning at work reading about copyright law so I could talk about it today.
And that's why we appreciate you.
They only pay me $15 an hour, so I can afford to waste my time reading about copyright law instead of doing actual work.
Is that in weak pussy Canadian dollars?
Yes.
Oh my
Weak
God.
pussy gaming.
I am, as of next month, getting paid $26 an hour. So
That's why the Canadian dollar, you know how it's USD because it's United States dollar. When America, here, but in Canada it's CAD for cuck ass dollar.
That's true.
That's true.
Our dollars are infinitely better than Canadian dollars because ours are signed by Secretary of the Treasury and Executive Producer of Academy Award-winning film Suicide Squad Steve Mnuchin.
God, I always forget about that shit.
The lie detector determined that was true.
The U.S. stands for ultra strong.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway, don't you mind if I just open a beeb?
A tasty drink.
We can't just do Peagot House inside jokes for the entire podcast.
That's what this entire podcast is anyways, just like, it's H Hip House inside jokes.
We call our fucking shout-out section at the end Lightbringers.
Yeah, but that's not a Peagot thing, because they don't do that.
No, they don't. They don't have anything that brings them light in the show. But shout out to
It's a bad
Producer
show.
Kim for
Shout out to Producer Kim.
Shout out to Producer Kim for being the only valid person in that entire house.
Shout
for
out
giving
to
me Tums.
Producer Kim
Shout
for
out to
giving me
Brooks.
tummy trouble pills.
Shout out to Brooks, Eddie, and Producer Kim for somehow coordinating the presence of 20 fucking people in a 6-person household.
It wasn't even that much of a train wreck.
No, it wasn't. It should have been
it
way
was
more.
like very fun. We all had
No one got-
fun.
There was a large amount of people who were perfectly okay with sleeping on the floor, including myself.
Including myself, yeah.
Oh, if
Right
I
on
knew
the
you were
hardwood.
okay with sleeping on the floor, I wouldn't have let you sleep on the fucking couch that one night.
I did get the futon on the last night.
God damn it.
Entirely by myself, even though it could have fit a second person.
You know what? We're not friends like that, Matt. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do in my sleep, so I'm gonna let him have the futon. He's futon boy. Because I had the futon the first night.
I am the greatest friendly cuddler of all time. It would have been a very comfortable sleep for everyone.
I'll know that for next year.
Okay, so I think we started out time about PGOTCon 2018,
Yes.
sorry. Anyone got any other, anyone else got any con appearances coming up? I'm thinking about going to Anthro, New England in February.
Hey, I live there.
I'm gonna
I might crash on your couch.
I'm probably gonna be in Toronto around Fan Expo time this year.
I'm actually hopping up to Toronto next weekend, now that I think about it.
Next weekend is the Up Here Festival in Sudbury, which is a very good music festival at which Ephraim Minuk of Godspeed You Black Emperor is playing.
Ooh.
So it's going to be sick as hell.
Matt, you should swing by wherever the fuck I end up staying, because I'm gonna be up there for a speedrunning thing, and we could like hang out again or something.
By the way,
Chance
Sarah,
for
when you
chance.
say you're hopping up there, do you mean literally because of your foot?
Yes.
All right.
It's getting better.
Anyways, yeah, those
Stronger
are my slated con appearances right now. More info forthcoming, obviously. I'm very in demand.
Follow us on Twitter.
Follow us
All
on
of your
Twitter.
latest updates.
Of course.
Yeah, I'll be at my work.
Follow me
I will
on
be
Twitter,
in the
but
Dunkin'
not.
Donuts on the Boston Marathon route tomorrow. If you want to meet up, I will sign anything.
Yeah,
Follow
well,
me-
this episode probably won't have gone up yet, but
Follow me at your own risk, because I mean I'm not really retweeting very many bad things, but I have decided to be more furry on Maine, so living
I'm
my
going to
truth.
be.
And
I'm
guess
gonna be
what?
in
You're
the-
valid.
I'm going to
Thank
be in
you.
the SO Tim Hortons tomorrow morning getting my coffee. If you want to kill me in person, you just come there and just assassinate me right there. So
I cannot believe that I finally met you after all these years and I plumb forgot to kill you.
It was
This is.
overwhelming.
I think
I've done
I
so
think
many
this-
things to deserve it.
These first 10 minutes of this episode are just like, I'm not... Hi, welcome back. This is about when you stop skipping. We're going to get into the episode now and not just
Whatever.
make
People
references.
love
You'll
us
hear
and they're
about
happy
politics?
for us and they're happy that we all met each other.
Let's get into the
You'll hear
episode.
about
What are we
the
starting
United
with this
States?
week?
Can we talk about how Donald Trump watches himself on TiVo?
We can talk about how Donald Trump watches
Yeah.
himself on TiVo, and was it last week that there was a report about how he got mad when someone put CNN on a TV on his airplane?
Yeah, probably.
That
That probably
wouldn't
happens all the
surprise me
time.
at all. Oh, he's mad at Don Lemon. He does not like Don Lemon.
Well, Don
wonder
Lemon
why.
is black.
Yeah.
He's also
Don
mad at
Lemon,
LeBron
gay
James.
It's because he's not. It's because Don Lemon's not too sweet on Trump.
Oh!
I love
he,
it.
Is he sour on him?
Yes.
Oh!
Oh.
Oh, that's a pun. That's
Sorry
a
for
baseball.
Like a funny
Uh,
lemon.
So Donald Trump watches his own self on TiVo and like applauds and cheers himself on.
Yeah, he really loves, apparently, according to the Axios piece that was written about this, that he loves to watch the debate right after the Access Hollywood tape came out, where
Yeah,
he
his
brought
finest hour.
all of the women who accused Bill Clinton of sexual harassment.
Oh,
He
God,
brought
they
them-
did
Oh,
that.
I forgot
To the
about
debate?
that.
And then there's a part where he, like, bodies Hillary Clinton by saying, like, oh, like, she's like, somebody with his attitude shouldn't be in the White House. And then he's like, because you would be in prison. And then others
She
like
hasn't.
Jamaican air
She's
horns
not in
and,
prison,
like,
is
everybody's
the thing.
like cheering and
Yeah,
clapping.
She's
and
very
he
not in
watches
prison.
he watches this video on TiVo, and he himself, you know how he normally does that thing where he's like, everyone's saying blah blah blah. This source that told the Axios about this literally said he says that he thinks it's the greatest thing in the history of presidential debates. Like he just,
Ever. Debates
I wish
ever.
I had that
I'm
confidence.
I'm just gonna call bullshit on the fact that he'd ever watched a debate before.
No, he
Oh,
hasn't.
he
No,
hadn't.
of course he hasn't.
He
but that doesn't
hadn't. He's
mean
like,
that
oh man.
not gonna
Because
say it.
anything he
Opinions
does
about
is
it.
the greatest thing anyone's ever done.
In his brain, it's like, this is my best moment, so therefore it is the best moment. It's going to take a lot for someone further down the line to, like, overcome that. Because obviously I set the bar. Obviously,
Well,
Dangerous
last summer
Donald
he
Trump
went to
set
the
bar.
Boy Scout Jamboree and ranted about like sex parties he had on
Boat
yachts in the
orgies.
80s with some very famous people, very good people. Okay, very
Some
famous,
very nice people.
very
Do
nice.
you remember that time
And
that,
then he said that the leader of the Boy Scout Jamboree or the leader of the Boy Scouts in general, had called him and said it was the greatest speech ever given at a jamboree. And then the actual leader of the Boy Scouts
No.
of America said, I literally never said that. I've never talked to the president, and it was just fine.
Okay,
It's
I
just-
I want to
fine.
read this thing from the article word for word because it's
Hold on,
Yeah,
Sam.
yeah,
Before
please
we
read
do
the
that,
words.
Sam, do y'all remember that time that I think it was John Travolta's son died? And Trump was like, hey, I tried to fuck John Travolta's wife, but she didn't want it. Rest in peace, kid.
I do kind of remember that.
Yeah, they brought it up on the dollop. Oh god, I don't know. I don't think it was John Travolta. Sam, you say your thing, but I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Okay, so I'm just going to read this directly from this article. Trump commentates as he watches, according to sources who've sat with him and viewed replays on his TiVo, which is preloaded with his favorites on the large TV in the private dining room adjoining the Oval Office. When watching replays, Trump will interject commentary, reveling in his most controversial lines. Wait for it. See what I did there? He'll say. And now this is a quote.
Of course.
People think it's easy, Trump said in one riff about rally footage per a source with direct knowledge. I've been doing this a long time now, and people were used to it. Every rally, it's like, people have said P.T. Barnum. People have said that before, and they think that's easy because, hey, P.T. Barnum, he does the circus. They don't realize it's a lot of work. It's not easy.
It is not
Hey,
easy.
P.T. Barnum, he does the circus.
Hey, P.T. Barnum,
does
he
it.
does the circus.
He's still doing it.
I love my
the
president.
circus doer.
So what you're saying is basically the president watches a continuous feed of YouTube poops about himself.
Yeah.
The president says, Alexa, play Donald Trump funny moments.
Do you think the president has seen Jeb as a mess before?
I
don't know if
haven't.
that is,
has.
but I believe you.
Jeb is a mess. Jeb is a waste.
I mean, he is.
I mean, confirmed.
Jeb
yeah.
is a big fat mistake.
I can't find the details on this. I remember it was talked about in the Dollop episode on Trump, but
So just go pause this, listen to their 2-part Trump episode. It's about 3 hours.
Yeah.
Come back.
Guys, remember how Jeb Bush is canonically president in the Glee universe?
I don't remember that.
Excuse me?
Very much. for
I've
reminding
never
me of
seen
that fact.
Glee.
he is the president.
So okay,
won.
now I need you to clarify: is it a Jeb Bush alike, or is it literally name drop Jeb Bush?
Oh, literally name drop Jeb Bush.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Literally name drop. Because.
Why?
Jeb.
And Sue Sylvester is the vice president.
I don't know who that is.
She's the Jane Lynch's evil coach, gym teacher character.
Wait. The one of the characters of the show becomes vice president
Yep.
Yes.
of Jeb Bush.
Yep.
Yes.
You should watch
All
it.
right,
It's
no
good.
further questions.
I mean, that school is in the Midwest, so that tracks.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
That's how you guys pick vice presidents, right? They're just always from
Yeah,
some
is she a
backwoods
she's the
fucking
coach?
Midwest place.
Or Alaska.
Except or Alaska.
All right, well, that's your Glee trivia for the day.
Yeah, now you know. Oh man, I love the president. I love that he went to visit a naval base apparently last May in 2017, and
good
he was
Christ.
like, they're gonna switch to steam power to shoot off these jets because they're using digital and it's very expensive. So
I'm so glad Donald Trump. I'm so glad Donald
I would
Trump is
just like
finally
to
a
read
steampunk.
one quote from that.
Please do.
It sounded bad to me. Digital. They have digital.
God.
What is digital? And you can
Well,
tell
what
that
is
the
it?
story where he's telling this is fake because someone else calls him sir in it a bunch. Like every time that happens, where Trump
Yep.
is telling
Sir.
you about
Sir?
how someone else
Sir?
called him sir, it's a fake story that came from his beautiful, beautiful brain.
His incredible brain. God, I fucking love his brain.
I love his brain.
I want to get my
hope they,
fingers in those folds.
Ah!
There's no folds. It's the smoothest brain you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It is just a round pink sphere.
What?
It's Kirby.
No!
No.
Donald Trump's brain
don't
is
be
not
smirched.
shaped like a friend.
Don't besmirch Kirby in this way.
Why would you even say that? You like Kirby, probably.
It's true. I do have a Kirby amiibo directly in front of me currently.
Okay, that's
so
why you
did
said
it
that then.
where he could hear you.
I just
in
saw
front
the
of the
nearest
Kirby.
round pink thing nearby.
Not in front of the Kirby. Hey, can we talk about Space Force 2020?
I'd Space Force.
Jesus Christ.
does that make sense?
Space
This is the
Force.
dumbest country.
Hey, remember how that's a thing he just kind of said in a speech and now it's policy and that's
Space
the
Oh
Force.
yeah,
world
Mike
that we live
Pence
in?
is a fan of it, and it's
Space Force.
2020. Everybody, here
Space
we go.
Force.
Space Force.
To what extent
Space Force.
did Trump just play? Did Trump just get done playing the campaign of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare?
Space
or
Force.
Space Force.
Space Force.
Can I say Space Force?
Because we're getting very big in space, both militarily and with other things.
The only
We need
force
another
I care
one.
about
How-
in space is that when
The
you come
thing
in
is-
space, it pushes you backwards.
The thing is that Donald Trump just finished killing Kit Harington and stopping the plot of the Olympus Mons. And he was like, wow, but that needs to happen in real life. Kit Harington's out in space.
Is he in space?
I mean, he was the bad guy in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Trump thinks
Kit
that every
Harington?
movie he's ever seen. is
Yeah,
done.
Kit Harington's the bad guy in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
That's weird.
See, I thought you were making a pussy joke, and I I was just going.
No. Kit
I
also
remember
Harington.
when
did
Jon
think you
Snow
were
ate
talking
his
about
aunt's
eating
pussy and then went into outer space.
Kit Harington commands the ship. I think it's his ship. It might be his like rogue team or whatever, but they're called Olympus Mons.
Jon Snow ate his aunt's Olympus Mons.
Thank you. And then you kill him at the end of the game, and like everyone on your team dies to save the universe.
I swear to God, there's a part of the vagina called the Mons.
There is
No, yeah,
Mons
that's
Pubis.
true.
The Mons
Oh
Pubis.
hell yeah, we did it.
That was the joke that I was.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
what
I
was
needed to
doing.
take a walk. to get
Sam
there.
Canning,
I got
honorary
there.
lesbian, knows all the parts.
Yay!
You did it. Is there anything
Now
else
that
we
Matt
know
said it,
about
I'm
Space Force?
legitimate.
Oh yeah.
What do we know about Space Force? I'm still.
Space
We
Force.
can joke all we want. To what
What's gonna happen?
end
I have an
is
idea.
Space Force required?
I have an idea about
Space
Space
Force.
Force.
What?
Here we go.
So he had said, Mike Pence said somewhere in his thing today, because I was reading about this instead of doing my job today,
That's
that they were gonna take all other parts of like space travel, space exploration, space research, and kind of fold them under this. So so they're gonna be moving like NASA assets under like the military budget, and this is gonna mean that NASA is gonna be under the direction of like Army generals and is just not gonna study climate science anymore.
Work.
Were they already?
Yeah, that's similar to my take, where it's like the beautiful brained genius universe galactic president just kind of neurons like randomly fired in his brain during his speech, and he said Space Force, and then he did it again like 6 months later, and then he did it again, and he kept talking about it, and then the actual vulture Republicans around him were like, hey, we can use this to funnel more money into like defense contractors, and like we can use this dumbass idiot to our advantage. And he's just excited because he's getting the Space Force, and he
Space
loves
Force.
the Space Force.
Space
Even
Force.
in the fucking Cold War, at like the height of space competition, it was still
Space Force.
like
Space Force.
space was still seen as a competitive, as a cooperative area.
We
Like,
should have had a force.
People
Folks,
they had the
let's
they
do
had
better
the
way.
airs of that at least. They at least put on the front that it was a cooperative thing, and astronauts from both countries were on the same space stations and shit like that. But
Space
now
Force.
it's just like
Space Force.
the Mike Pence's Space Force speech
Force.
about the Space Force
Space Force.
was basically just talking about
fucking
how they
stupid.
want to actively wage war in space.
Space Force.
Like they literally referred to it as the next battleground.
Who are we gonna fight in space?
The
Nobody's there.
Martians.
Well, I think maybe he was thinking. Maybe he meant to say Battlefield. He was talking about the next Battlefield game is going to take place in space.
And it's our destiny to go up there.
So what you're saying is that they're dedicating
Nice.
all the resources towards gaming.
Yeah, Manifest
See,
Destiny
it's-
2, Outer Space Time.
It's
Oh,
no
so
man's
this is
sky,
like
but we're gonna make it
comparing.
our man's sky.
Yes.
It's this man's sky.
Yeah, it is.
It's not called woman's sky.
Star citizens.
love
We're gonna be the first star citizens out there. Hey, speaking of stars, remember how Donald Trump's star got officially taken off of the Walk of Fame?
Now, did it already get taken off, or did they just vote
It's
to
going
take it
to.
off?
They voted
The,
on it.
well, the city council voted on it, but then it has to go to like the company who like is behind like the Walk of Fame or something.
Yeah.
But like the city of Hollywood is like, we do not want
Get rid
this.
of it.
Yeah.
I was
Because
reading. I
they
looked.
don't want to have to keep repairing their sidewalk when people take literal jackhammers to it.
I was
That
looking.
rules.
I was looking for a story about that because I really wanted to. I was just really hoping that Trump had a meltdown about it, but as far as I can tell, he hasn't. But in the
He probably
process,
hasn't heard of it yet.
Yeah.
yeah, probably.
They're
In the process of
shielding it
googling
from
it,
him.
I just
They
saw
didn't,
that
they didn't mention it on Fox and Friends.
Right, that was what I saw was on Fox. They reported it as like Trump derangement syndrome. Hollywood is taking off the star, and it's just really good to me that the phrase Trump derangement syndrome is being like broadcast on Fox News now. That's really
It's really
cool.
good to me that the phrase Trump derangement syndrome is being used by the President Trump.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not referring to his own rotting smooth brain.
Right. In my day, we just called it dementia.
Y'all ever get a little bit uncomfortable with how the discourse has just like completely gone in on Trump and calling him just like broken brain and everything and such?
I do often feel bad about doing that Mostly because I also am a person with a broken brain.
Yeah, like, I mean, I feel like, I don't know. It just feels weird to me. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to like bring this. I'm not trying to like bring the podcast down or anything. Feel free to cut this. I started thinking about it.
I understand where you're coming from. I don't. When I say it, I'm just referring specifically to the fact that he has dementia.
No, yeah, he definitely does. But like some of the words that people use.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no,
like
yeah,
the
I mean,
mental
they also
illness
call
words.
him Funny
I get it.
Gay.
I also have a very bad brain, but like I'm okay.
Sorry, I just got like
mono
mono depression out of nowhere. Sorry.
It happens.
It's like a very comic way of representing like just he has no coherent thoughts.
yeah.
He just wanders aimlessly in and out of rooms.
His brain is one of those like magnet refrigerator poetry things. He's just got his
that's
words
always
that he just
things.
sticks to the
I think
refrigerator
the
of
big
his
thing
brain.
about the way his brain works is it's less that his brain is broken and more that his life experience was not built in the way of a person, so that he is just
Right.
so fundamentally unrelatable to other human beings that the way he thinks does not make sense in a normal society.
There is
Right.
that, but there's also like 20 years ago he was much more coherent, though he was still as much of an arrogant dumbass and like total vain moron.
Oh yeah, that's when he was
Like,
yelling
like
about
he
like the
could
Central
like
Park 5 all the
string
time.
like several ideas together in a way that made sense.
Right.
Now
you
he
could,
just
you
talks
could,
about Space Force.
You could look at Space Force. You could look at his thought process and be like, "Oh, there's a thought process there." That doesn't really happen anymore.
Speaking as someone who watched 4 seasons of The Apprentice,
And you fucking make fun of me for watching Survivor that I've never watched.
I don't like
Sam's
Sam.
favorite show, Survivor.
Sam, my mid 2000s love affair with reality shows is not a secret. It is something that I'm very open about. I watched Survivor. I watched The Apprentice. I watched The Amazing Race. I tried to watch Big Brother, but that show is completely inscrutable.
I watched every single season of Survivor up until the one where Rupert won, which I'm pretty sure was the 7th season.
No, Rupert? Oh no, you're talking.
All right,
Okay,
anyway,
Rupert,
what were
He
you
sorry.
was
saying?
back for All Stars.
What were you saying
I don't know.
about The Apprentice?
I was just talking about how much I love Survivor, but
You know who probably watches The
okay.
Apprentice?
Donald
that?
Trump.
Donald Trump.
Just over and over and over
Hey,
again, yeah.
speaking of Donald Trump and his good show, The Apprentice, remember like a couple weeks ago when he said, today 23 companies and associations are pledging to expand apprenticeships. That's an interesting word for me to be saying, right? The Apprentice. I never actually put that together until just now. That was a good experience. I will tell you that. Isn't that strange? Ivanka, I never associated, but here we are. Can't get away from that word. That's a great word. I love my president.
Oh, man.
Oh
He's just drifting in and out of consciousness.
I mean, I've been there, but, I'm not the leader. I'm not, like,
We've all been there, but
in
none of
charge
us are the
of
president.
literal
weapons,
president.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Can we talk about Alex Jones?
Of course we can.
We can talk
Okay.
about Alex Jones.
I love Alex Jones.
The
all
thought
I wanted
police
to
at
say.
Google literally executed Alex Jones on live TV. He's dead now. Rip Alex Jones.
Yeah.
I have fucking loved reading all the fucking alt-right takes on this on Twitter and how they're just how
Is love the right word, Matt?
I do love to see it. No, just because they're
The truest,
really mad.
purest love.
It's because they're so fucking mad about it.
Yeah.
bet they are,
They'll be
yeah.
the first people who will argue for the rights of a private corporation to do something, and then the second it doesn't
Yeah,
benefit them
there's
directly.
literally were people being like, well, if that's how it's gonna be, then the internet should be nationalized so that they can enforce their free speech on it.
Yeah, there was
What
that
if they just
Twitter
nationalize
thread,
the internet, though?
Yeah, please do.
I'd be a fan of that, personally.
I've been trying to think of a list of things that should be nationalized, and the internet is still at the top of the list.
Of course.
God.
But the thing is
Seagull,
that
yeah.
all of these alt-right shitheads, they're still able to go on Twitter and see all of it because Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter, has decided that Alex Jones and InfoWars don't violate the terms of service. Huh. Because,
There are like
bigotry is protected speech, you see.
Can I say how fucking funny it is? Like, okay, I'm never gonna praise Apple because fuck Apple, but
Apple's worth $1 trillion, Sam. You have to praise them now.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. They were the first ones to ban Alex Jones InfoWars shit, and then like the second Apple had done it, everyone else is like, oh, we can do it now, and we're not like the ones who are going to take all the heat from it. So like fucking Facebook, where Mark Zuckerberg was like, well, I think that if they're saying Holocaust didn't happen, I think that that's just a good faith argument, and they want to learn more. Like, fuck off. Just the fact that the second Apple did it, they're like, okay, we can do it too then. Just, oh my god.
Massive cuck.
Grow a fucking spine.
Yeah. Yeah,
But yet he did it.
Did
And it's
anybody
like
see
there are
that?
way worse accounts than Alex Jones on Twitter with
yeah.
tens of thousands of followers, and like they're just allowed to like post open calls for genocide.
And that's not worthy of suspension. But literally last week, if you had Elon Musk in your username, you would be suspended.
Automatic suspension.
We were there.
I
Jack.
tested
We
it.
saw
I
For a
it.
while,
changed.
if you tweeted any swear word at a verified account, you got suspended automatically.
I tried that. I changed my username to #1 Elon Musk fan, and when I went back to my timeline from changing the username, it was like, your account has been locked. Oh, cool.
So,
It's like when John Green got editing removed from Tumblr because
oh my
they
god!
edited one of his posts to say cock is one of my favorite
Okay,
things.
I have to say, I don't think he had anything to do with that.
Yeah, but it's really funny to blame
It's
it on
really
him.
funny.
I mean, okay, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, and I'm sorry about this, but I despise that post because it literally
No, it's
is
literally a funny
gay.
gay.
It
No,
literally
it's
is
funny
funny gay, and
yeah.
everyone spreads it like it's the funny, and it is funny
Like,
that
it's not
John,
an actual funny post. It's just funny because it made John Green mad.
Can I
Yeah.
say an even more
I
unpopular
just
opinion?
hate seeing that fucking post all the time. What?
Yeah, that's valid.
I kind of like John Green.
He's fine.
He's all right.
He's annoying.
I read a bunch
Like,
of
I
his books in
think-
high
I
school. I
think he-
thought they were
Yes.
pretty good.
I think that I think he tops out at like 5. I don't hate the guy. Like there are certainly worse people out there with the last name Green, but
Like Hank.
or Lacey.
Yeah, Hank's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, don't make me think about Lacey Green.
I think I have to think about
I've
Lacey
almost
Green every
escaped.
fucking day of my life.
Lacey Green. What the
Y'all
fuck
mind
happened
if
there?
I educate people on YouTube about sex ed, and then all of a sudden just sort of become like an
Heel
alt-right
turn.
turf? Yeah. Nice. Great.
Normal.
Love it.
She's just gonna go around calling people wank spangling cockwombles.
Wank splangling cockwomble. Was that
Yeah.
you that a turf called you that?
A turf indeed did call me that.
A wank
I've talked about the last time I got into an argument with a turf on Twitter, right?
No,
think
I don't
I
think
remember
so.
that.
I don't know.
It was
think
it
I
was like
remember
it was like it was probably about like it was late last year, I think, early this year. It was like winter. But she like I don't even remember exactly what it was, but she did try to fucking own me into the dirt by saying I had a persona as an avatar, and I tweeted about anime.
Oh
I do
yeah, I
remember
remember
this.
that.
To be
When
fair,
you,
she did
when you
have
got
me there.
devastatingly owned.
Yeah, she did dumpster me into the grave, and I've detransitioned now as a result.
God. Turfs are very good at arguing and owning
Remember
people.
how J.K. Rowling is a turf?
No, because that implies she's a radical feminist.
Right. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
I think she's
Just a
Stupid.
transphobic idiot.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling. All right.
It is funny though because like Wanksplang Cockwomble is like one of my favorite sort of cryptids in the Harry Potter franchise.
Doesn't
Luna
it just
Lovegood
sound
was
like a
always
shitty
going
Harry
on about the
Potter?
Wanksplangling Cockwomble.
Oh, God, I need to
Yeah.
read another book.
What was the fucking thing? Oh my god. Shit, I don't remember. Oh, it was Lacey Green who fucking said this. That somebody was like asking her like, where do you get your ideas from gender? Like what's your source? Like why do you believe this so strongly? And she's like, I learned it in 3rd grade. And it's like, oh cool.
Before
You know
we
how
move on to
science
the
works,
next
right?
topic, remember when Baked Alaska said, like, you will never learn in history class
Yes.
that the Confederates and the KKK were Democrats, and someone replied, like, you literally learned this in, like, basic U.S. history in high school. And he replies with, I was homeschooled, so I don't know.
Owned.
Man.
Superior logic.
They are all so good at arguing. God, on my way home from work, I saw a car that was just like fucking decked out in bumper stickers from car head to car toe, and it had the only two that I remember was the Starbucks logo, but the mermaid was holding assault rifles, and then one that was like, "Trigger a Democrat, use facts and logic."
So it was Ben Shapiro's car.
Right,
Yeah.
it was Ben Shapiro. Hey, remember
It was
when
like
Ben
a
Shapiro
It was an
Right.
challenged?
extremely small car.
Remember when Ben Shapiro challenged Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to a debate?
Yeah, he did do that
The
today,
take
didn't
on
he?
Twitter I saw was Ben Shapiro has to pay people to hang out with him because he's offering
like,
to donate to her
if you-
campaign if she will debate him.
How much will Ben Shapiro pay the person who has to keep moving the mic down every time he wants to talk?
There's so many more better things to shame Ben Shapiro for than his height.
Look, as
I
a certified
know.
manlet, I'd like to do it.
That's fine.
Yeah,
he's a
I
short
also
king.
regularly get mistaken for a child in public, so
Hey,
Now that I've seen you in
y'all-
person, I
y'all
can
might-
confirm you are indeed very small.
yeah.
Hey, y'all mind if I close trading at $420 a share?
Oh, our dear
Elon Musk
friend
is so
Elon.
funny.
That's really epic.
LOL. Okay, now this is epic.
I'm really hoping that Elon Musk gets to open the trading floor for the day, and then he's gonna do it in his Pickle Rick costume and say, "Pickle
Oh,
Rick."
shit. We did it, Reddit. We did it.
Well, he also worked 69 into it too, didn't he?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
right. He would.
the-
It would give a valuation of $69 billion to the company.
It's so funny that he knows those
it's
numbers.
really epic. Yeah.
It's so
It's
funny.
really funny
Nobody
that he knows
knows
the
about
sex
those
It'd be
number
really
and the
funny if
number.
he closed his market shares at 621 to me.
I knew you were gonna fucking say that.
I'm legally required to. Like I said, I'm being a furry
What
on
is
Maine.
Elon Musk's persona?
Don't say this to me. He's not a furry, and he never would be.
But what would it be?
Don't make me answer this hypothetical because
I'm gonna
would...
send it to our inbox anonymously. And
Can
then
I
you'll
just
have to
tell
answer
you?
it.
Can I just? I have the answer.
What is it?
Pickle Rick.
He's
I
King
mean-
of Pickle Rick. Yeah, confirmed.
Can you be Pickle Rick as a furry?
Elon Musk is.
It's different. Anyway,
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 Matt,
Space
do
Force.
you want to talk about Canada?
Oh, I've been fucking dying to talk about Canada. So, our
Matt? Talk about Canada?
right? Our foreign affairs minister, or I guess our foreign affairs ministry, because it was the Canada foreign affairs Twitter and not literally just Chrystia Freeland by herself, made a tweet about two Saudi Arabian, I guess, activists who had been arrested, and just said basically, we don't think that it's cool that you guys arrested these people. And I'm just trying to find their names right now because I feel like a dumbass if I don't say it. Samar Badawi is one of them. And, women's rights activist. That's what I was looking for. And essentially, the world's most disproportionate response came from Saudi Arabia
I
afterwards.
did like it though.
I think possibly the most disproportionate response that anyone has ever given to a tweet.
They were just wilding out on social media, and I respect that.
Okay, first of all, they tweeted, one of the foreign ministers who has a verified account tweeted an image that said, essentially, stick out of our foreign affairs, and then had a Canadian airline flying towards the CN Tower.
Yeah, so that's
That
so
was a
they
real
just
thing.
admitted to doing 9/11 on Twitter in
Yes.
response to a tweet that said maybe don't do this anymore.
Yes.
It's very
And-
cool.
Huh.
Amazingly, our,
don't fuck with
shit-lib-
us or I'll do 9/11 at you.
Again,
Our shit...
here.
Our shitlib prime
Again.
minister has not managed to ruin this yet. He has managed to not immediately capitulate and lie prostrate in front of the Saudi Arabians. Prostrate, not prostate.
It would be
I mean, if
funny
he's
if it
lying
was
prostate-
prostate. though.
I'm sorry.
If you're lying prostate, it's the same, but you're just turned around.
Yeah.
It's a wide on.
It is a wide on.
But essentially, they have stayed firm on it. They're like, we aren't going to respond to these by reversing our position because this is a position that we hold. And it's like, okay. They're doing something. I can give them some props for that. So some of the things that were done in response to Canada's single tweet about a human rights crusader being jailed in Saudi Arabia. They pulled all 15,000 international students from Canadian schools, including ones that are currently on summer terms, effectively just by pulling all their scholarships at the same time. So all these kids are just like fucked now.
Jesus.
They just pulled all their funding from all these students. They are suspending all future trade deals except for the arms deals, which are all done in the private sector, and oil, because they like to sell oil to us.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And
sorry, which country pulled the students out?
Saudi Arabia pulled their students from Canada.
Okay.
There was a lot of them.
Jesus.
And also, like, no Saudi citizen can ever seek healthcare in Canada again.
Yep. No Saudi airlines can fly in or out of Canada.
Holy crap.
No.
That'll make it hard to do 9/11 again.
That will make
I mean, when you're doing 9/11, I don't think you really care about the rules at that point.
Yeah, so this hugely disproportionate response that mostly seems to affect their citizens, and they seem to be standing firm. It's honestly, if it weren't completely terrifying, it'd be very, very funny. It is still kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty funny that this is our, like, the West's big ally in the Middle East, and this is how they react to, like, the slightest criticism.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still going to sell them billions of dollars in arms to continue spreading cholera in Yemen or whatever.
The United Nations High Commander for Human Rights used similar language in the weeks prior, but they didn't sever any ties there, nor did they recall any ambassadors. Right. They kicked the Canadian ambassador out of the country and then recalled their ambassadors from Canada. That was the last one that I was forgetting.
Huh.
Good.
But, like, it seems like they're choosing Canada as a specific example because we are a, like, big but not, like, massive trading partner with them. Like, they make up about... they make about as much trade for Canada as 2 days of trade with the United States. And, like, you know, most states in the U.S., like, their number one trading partner is Ontario. So, like, we're not particularly worried about Saudi Arabia in this calculation. But they chose it because it's someone who cutting off all their trade deals with doesn't affect them too negatively either. That said, they are still selling oil to us.
Oh, yeah, well, you
Of course.
gotta sell the oil.
Yeah,
Yes, that's about it on that one.
Just hang out with it? Like, you gotta get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna drink it?
I mean, you could drink it.
I do drink it.
Oh, so,
Yeah, that's how you lube your throat when you have a cough. You drink it.
Right?
And your voice is getting better every day.
Yeah, because I'm drinking so much crude oil.
Of course.
That's also why everything I say is so crude.
And that's one of the two things I wanted to talk about this week. I guess we could break them up by putting one of the other things in here.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
You'll hear about elections, voting,
Midterms, yeah.
democracy.
Oh, yeah, they did that.
There's some,
I've heard
some
that's
facsimile of democracy that we have here because we're a
that
normal
sounds cool.
functioning country. So I guess there were a bunch of midterm/special elections across the country, and Republicans kind of won most of them. In Michigan, though, there's some good news and some bad news. The bad news was that Abdul El Said's bid for the governor primary did not go through. The more like centrist Democrat candidate won. But the good news is that the first Muslim woman to be elected to Congress, she's running unopposed, won her race. I don't think I can pronounce her name, so I'm not going to try. Her first name's Rashida. Does anybody know how to pronounce her last name? She's Palestinian.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna-
All right.
Yeah, I
So-
would fuck it up, and it would be very embarrassing, and I would get fired from this podcast.
I think it's just Talib.
Yeah, fair. Nobody can ever be wrong on this podcast ever.
Hasn't happened yet.
Faced with summary execution. Yeah, we're always right. So the race that I'm going to talk about is one
The
that
human
has been
race.
pretty.
In a sense.
All right. I can.
It's one of the races that's been getting a lot of attention.
All right. I can go back to dissociating now that I've made my joke.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
Bye.
Valid. The Ohio's 12th congressional district, which is where I live, and what I voted in. The Green Party. Let's see if anybody's mad at me. I actually did not vote for the Green Party, but So this district has been Republican for a very long time. For like at least 30, 40 years, something like that. But this year, and the race was like very close between the Republican and the Democrat. And the Democrat's like a moderate Danny O'Connor. I voted for him anyway, but like apparently he said like we are gonna fight for capitalism, which okay, dude.
I'd like to see it.
I feel like as a Democrat, you don't really need to. Who is that for?
Yeah.
It's to own the us, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
But anyway, so it was a surprise that the race was this close because Trump won this district by 11 points in the general. Fuck beat everybody else who lives in this district. And the reason why I think that this place is so Republican is because this, including where I live, is like the richest suburbs of Columbus. So a lot of very wealthy white people old people who eat at Panera all the time. I'm pretty sure, if anybody's familiar with the Muirfield golf tournament, I'm pretty sure like the Muirfield neighborhood is included in this district. So I guess that's why the dude said we're going to be fighting for capitalism, because the central issue to people here is their money. But still, it's significant that the race, they're still counting votes, including like provisional and absentee ballots. There's about like 3,000 of them left to be counted. All my family voted absentee, so I hope it pushes it over the top, but who knows? It'll probably eke out in the Republican. But so the gap between the Republican candidate Troy Balderson and Danny O'Connor was about 1,700 votes. Mm-hmm. And instantly, the I'm with her donut crowd got very frothing at the mouth angry online because the third place candidate, the Green Party candidate, who, by the way, rules because he thinks he is descended from aliens from the Pleiades star cluster. That's just cool. I'm sorry. He got about 1,000 votes. And even though the gap is still 700 votes, more than 1,000, everybody's blaming the Green Party for this, which I think is not. It's like I can see the impulse to blame them. It's frustrating.
Damn it, Green Party! You could have lost by less.
Yeah, he could have lost by less. But actually, that we're looking to get in a recount margin, which we aren't quite in yet. So that would have put him in a recount margin if all the Green voters voted for the Democrat, which is a very large stretch because they are voting for a guy who thinks he's part alien. So either they also think they're part alien, or they're just mad at both parties and they want to give a middle finger at the ballot. These are not the people we should be going after. And
go ahead, throw your vote away.
Yeah, and so there's about 600,000 voters in this district, and only 200,000 voted. So you'd think that the Democrats would maybe try to go for the 400,000 people who didn't vote instead of 1,000 people who voted for alien congressmen. But, Dem's gonna Dem.
I love alien congressmen. I love to hear and think about it.
The 12th District of Ohio is now ruled by Jill Stein.
You know what they say about the Democrats? They do
enemy of the show,
lose.
Jill Stein. We do love to lose.
She's here to overthrow democracy.
I mean, even though the guy is the Democratic candidate, it kind of, he's not great, but it's still, I completely understand and empathize with people who don't want to vote for moderate Democrats, because it will impact their quality of life regardless. But
I'd still
I'm not
going to
judge people for not voting for, a moderate Democrat, but, my personal view is I want to get the numbers of Republicans in Congress down. That's why I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, because I didn't want the fucking big wet president to actually become the big wet president, even though Hillary sucks.
Yeah, he could have just been a moist candidate instead.
Yeah, he could have just been yelling into the void on Twitter for 2 years now. Well, we were all at brunch. If Hillary was president. Yeah,
brunch is
Hillary presidency would have fucking sucked too, but it wouldn't have been Space Force bad.
Space Force.
Would this podcast be extant?
If she won? Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, she did.
it
She
would.
had already said Pokemon go to the polls.
She did.
Yeah,
Also,
but
can
I
I say-
feel like we were galvanized by like how bad everything got. And like obviously, things under Hillary wouldn't be like fucking hunky dory, but like
Had the voice chat already happened after the election? I don't fucking. Every time is fake. I
yeah,
don't understand.
yeah.
Time is fake.
Voice
The
chat
thing
had
is-
to have Voice chat had to have happened after the election because if it happened before the election, that would have been like a year in between.
Oh yeah.
At
Yeah,
least a year
Sam,
in
we
between
didn't
that
say
and our
he
first
got-
episode.
Discord until May 2017. So
Oh right. Jesus Christ.
Sam and I both joined PGOT Discord at the same time, and that was May of 2017.
Yeah, time's fake.
Yeah, I
So-
joined a couple months after that.
I think I joined like 5 minutes after you, so I assumed that you had been there from the beginning.
Well, you know.
Do we want to move
myself
into
a hat.
shout-outs, or does
I
anyone have
think
anything
Matt
else?
was going to
I
talk
do have
about
one more thing. I
copyright
want
or
to talk
Okay.
about
something.
video games.
Your
Video
video,
games.
James.
This could be quick, even though I did do reading about it literally all morning. That is more just because I'm actually genuinely interested in copyright law and internet archiving and preservation. This is something that really came up a lot when Vine was dying, and
Yep.
like I think you could still access Vines on the website right now, but none of
Yep.
them play right on my phone anyway. So
Yeah.
one of the big
Tumblr
things is
Vines
that
will work. Yeah.
yeah,
somewhat.
archive.org was basically just being like, hey, tweet at us and we'll archive any Vine that you link to our Twitter account, like automatically. And I thought that was a really cool thing to do because essentially in the digital age, preservation is way easier, but also way less done because there's
Right.
less copies of things in existence. So a lot of things just get lost to the ether because often there's only one copy of something. And one thing that was very good for digital preservation historically, and especially for old retro games, has been the emulation scene, exemplified by like the most reliable emulator and ROM website on the entire internet, Emu Paradise, which just this week had to remove all its ROMs under the threat of legal action.
Hey, Matt,
Yes.
can you explain to non-geeks and gamers what a ROM is? Because I have no idea what that is.
A ROM is essentially the file that contains the game. It's
Right, it's-
read-only
Game?
memory.
Gamers?
It's the game that you run with the emulator to play the game.
Yes.
So CD-ROM, kind of.
It's similar
not
because
on
they
a
are both
disc.
read-only pieces of memory.
Okay.
Basically, you download an emulator like you download like FCEUX or ZSNES or PSX
Dolphin.
or whatever the hell any of them
SNES
are.
9X.
Thank you. And then you grab the ROM itself and you just run the ROM through the emulator and you get to play the old game with like all of the old hardware things, which I've noticed because I've been speedrunning Mega Man through an emulator lately. And you still get like the slowdown that you got playing it on an
Yeah.
NES. Like
'Cause
you never
essentially-
have like too many beams on the screen at the same
Yeah.
time.
With a lot of the old hardware, like, this is like getting like way deep into the weeds, but a lot of it was really designed strictly through hardware. Like, they didn't have processors on this system. Everything that happened in the game basically ran through like a basic logic circuit. So emulation for those games was like, it's crazy to reproduce it. They're essentially just building a chip on a computer without actually having the physical piece of it. So like the amount of work that has been put into this kind of preservation is staggering. And I was just on Nintendo's website reading about all their stuff on ROMs, and I wanted to read one in particular. Isn't it okay to download Nintendo ROMs for games that are no longer distributed in stores or commercially exploited? Aren't they considered public domain?
Can I just make a prediction right now?
They say no.
I think this is going to make me angry.
No, the current availability of a game in stores is irrelevant to its copyright status. Copyrights do not enter the public domain just because they are no longer commercially exploited or widely available. Therefore, the copyrights of games are valid even if the games are not found on store shelves. And then haven't the old copyrights of games expired? No, because corporations hold the rights for 75 years.
Oh my god, who gives
Thanks,
a fuck
Disney.
though? Like what the why wouldn't
Yeah,
why
hasn't
shouldn't the
Disney
game
just
be
been every
able to
time
be
that-
played by people?
I'm really I think this is just me calling a shot here, but if you want to hear some people who like actually do games and game preservation stuff in their day-to-day life, listen to next week's Giant Bombcast because I guarantee
Yes.
goddamn to you Jeff Gersman is going to talk like huge shop about all this.
I hope they get Bew on, because Bew is the guy who does the SNES.
Yeah.
presentation
They have
project.
him on. They have him on every once in a while. I remember
Yeah,
one of the
he's
first
really
episodes I listened to.
fucking
He was on, I think.
He was probably
saw-
on after the whole thing where he lost, USPS lost $10,000 of games that were being shipped to him,
Yep.
Jesus.
and then he eventually found them essentially after raising a huge stink about it. And so one number,
yeah,
I wanted to find some numbers about this, but I forgot to actually copy them down.
I did
But
see
I'm just-
that.
I saw a
200
Twitter thread today that out of the 700 odd SNES titles that there were, about 50 of them have made their way to the Virtual Console.
Yeah, and even then, less of them are on the Wii U and 3DS Virtual Console. There were some that were on the Wii Virtual Console that aren't released on the new one. So that's like 90% of the library that just doesn't exist anymore.
In a legal
yeah,
form.
Switch has nothing. Yeah, in a legal form.
And like
right.
Nintendo has not put a Virtual Console on their new console. Maybe they're planning on doing that now. Maybe
It's been
that's
a
what this
year,
is all
though.
about.
I can't imagine that. Like maybe once their online starts happening in September,
Yeah,
November.
well, that's one of the things
Yeah.
that they were saying, but they only said NES games for that. And like
Yeah.
that's one library out of their several classic libraries. Like N64.
I mean, like these things will naturally obsolete themselves. Like the battery in them will die. Like you see this. I remember like these posts going around like a couple of years ago that it was happening with like old Pokemon game cartridges, and that's going to start happening. And
with the Pokemon
like-
game cards, that's just their internal clock, though. Like,
yeah.
that can't be
That's
replaced and
you know what I
fixed.
mean though. Like these things are not these things are not like time immemorial
No,
in a
they are not.
physical state.
Right.
That's why preservationists have been doing great work.
Yep.
Like fully ripping the games from the cartridges in like a completely hardware mirrored way, so it's a perfect copy of the game. And like they're working through like old game libraries to try to do this, but like they could easily be helped by the companies themselves releasing these things into the domain when they are no longer sellable. Like the problem is that copyright license was generally made to encourage innovation and to encourage people to make things that they could make money off of, thus encouraging them to make it. But that was supposed to work for 12 years. That is what the original copyright protection granted you, was 12 years of guaranteed protection. And the reason why it keeps extending is fucking Disney. Disney doesn't want
Yay.
Steamboat Willie to enter the public domain. It is set to enter the public domain in 2024. The one thing that's really nice about this, though, is that the extension of it to 2024 was done by Bill Clinton. And so the Republicans will fucking love to let this fall apart because all they could do is oppose Democratic legislation wherever they can.
Yeah, you said 96, right? That
98.
was the 98 because in
It
96
was started in 96 and it didn't finish till 98 because of legislative challenges.
So, in other things that happened under Bill Clinton's administration in 96, it was the Telecommunications Act, which was the first
Yup.
significant... It was the first act that overhauled communications law since 1934. So, 96, now we have, like, cable television and the internet, and this basically overhauled all of the communications acts of 34, which essentially had regulations on what certain companies could own. Like stations were required to own a certain part of the content that they made. But in 96, that was totally overhauled, which basically led the way for media
Conglomerates.
monopoly.
Yeah.
So Disney is able to do the things it's doing now because of these stripping of regulations that happened in 96. And it's all connected.
Yeah, and basically what it comes down to is this leads to a vast weakening of the public domain. One of the last articles I was reading today before I actually had to like start doing work at my job was one about how music not entering the public domain is just like such a restrictive thing for, you know, for sampling, for music collections, for anything like that. Like these things don't need to be granting perpetual money to the rights holders. Like this is not something that's actually necessary or in any service of the public good. And that is what has continually been proven through studies, is that none of these things benefit the public good in any meaningful way. It is literally just a cash grab. And the only way we're going to get out of that is by dismantling capitalism.
Well, let's get to it.
Let's hop to it, buddies.
right.
Y'all want to do some shout outs now?
We could do some shout outs.
Yes.
Feel
You had
free
one,
to
Sarah.
feel free to tell me to shut the fuck up and edit this out of this show. But can
Never.
I talk about? It's not exactly politics, but can I talk about the Howler milkshake ducking?
Oh, absolutely.
Please.
Yeah,
I am
Do a
dying
whole
to hear
furry
about this.
episode. Do it.
Yeah. Okay. So
this is wild.
this happened over for me. This happened over the course of like a week and a half. So I see rumblings from some of the furries that I follow, like about this app called Howler. And I do some digging, and it looks like it's just basically a furry dating app. because of the density, because of like just number density, it was mostly men. So one of my friends called it furry grinder, and that's not too far off. And this is spelled HOWLR, by the way. It looks relatively innocuous. I downloaded it because I'm curious. Funny enough, I actually log in through Telegram, which that's no surprise whatsoever. And I was like, well, this is nifty enough. And so I was like, oh, this is fine. I left it on my phone. I checked it out. I talked to a couple of people who I wound up running into when I joined the Rochester Furries Telegram group. And then I'm just like, it's just whatever. And then on Tuesday, it comes out that Stormy, one of the people who worked on it, has just publicly tweeted on their AD account, which is a public not safe for work account, which, I mean, you can do that. You can do that. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But the fact that, like, he was just doing it he was just saying this not even behind a locked account. He just said, yes, I have fucked a dog. He just said that.
He just came out and said it.
He just came out and said that. And and everyone's just like, did you just, okay,
Now let's wind it back.
Now, okay, there's some interesting stuff here. Now, do you guys know why every furry uses Telegram? I know we talked about it in the furry episode, but do you remember why?
I don't know what Telegram is.
Telegram is
app.
Telegram's a messaging app. One of the big draws of it is the amount of stickers you can add, but one of the biggest things about it is just the sheer anonymity. Like, not anonymity, rather, just like the way it kind of locks up your information. You can't, like, really get, like, found out or anything unless, like, someone else is in there screen capping, and it's a mutually assured destruction thing, because if you wander into a furry group, people will be like, what the fuck are you doing in a furry group?
Is it also like a end-to-end encryption kind of thing?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty secure. So because you have to log in through the Telegram app to Howler, funny thing about that is that just for security purposes, Telegram requires a phone number for you to make an account.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, if you have, like, anything linked to your Telegram account, like, if you have maybe, I don't know, if you, like, have your Twitter mentioned on your Telegram account, or, like, some profile pictures, or a phone number, or email or something, and the people who make this game kind of threw a giant, the people who make this app threw a giant shit fit and, like, threatened a lot of people with, like, basically doxing. One of the people who made, like, the big thread about the fact that one of the people who made the big thread about the fact that Stormy was a dog fucker, one of the people who did that got, like, basically the devs threatened to out them as a furry to their work.
Sorry.
Which sounds like some bullshit, but, like, people will get, like...
Oh, I don't...
Being outed as a furry, like, obviously, like, that, you know, it's...
Except for that one fucking guy who got to deliver pizzas in his fursuit. Forever jealous of that guy's boss and life.
Sorry. Telegram was threatening to dox people who...
No, not Telegram. Howler.
Okay.
Howler had, because people who had signed up for it had their Telegram accounts linked to it, so Howler basically had the information needed so that they could be like, oh, well, we have your Telegram account. So...
Jesus God.
It's horrible. Like,
Jesus.
even... Like, I see what you mean, Sarah, that you're like, oh, you know, it could be bad to be outed as being a furry, but, like, that's such a, like, any kind of personal information like that is... God, it's horrible. Like...
Right, no, I know this is, like, weird to be saying, but, like... If your boss finds out that, like, you're a furry, even if it's, like, a completely non-sexual thing for you, like, your boss may as well find out that... Your boss may as well just, like, come across your Twitter and, like, see pics of you in, like, a chastity belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just very personal.
That actually happened.
I
I
love
love
to
threaten to dox people and ruin their careers for spreading a screenshot of something I said on my public account and
by the way,
not liking that I fucked a dog.
By the way, slight apology if I got that information wrong. I know there were doxing threats. I don't exactly. I believe that I explained it correctly, but I could be extremely wrong based on the way things actually went.
I mean, you could put that disclaimer on every single thing that we say on this podcast.
Yeah, don't fact check.
We have never said anything incorrect on this podcast.
But what
Don't
does
fact check
happen is that guy admitted to having sex with a dog.
Yeah,
You know
that's the thing to
Just
me is
really-
That's pretty
Offered
bad.
up that information.
Anyways.
Can we close out with some positive furry news?
What's that?
There's pop. What's up?
Oh, Sonic Fox winning Evo.
Oh God! How could I
yeah!
forget?
We can't forget
Sonic
that.
Fox winning Evo in one of the most impressive and nail-biting tournament sets I have
It
ever
was
seen in my
fucking
life.
nuts.
Even if you don't know anything about fighting games, if you don't know anything about Dragon Ball FighterZ, watch the VOD. It's about 40 minutes
30
long.
minutes. I watched it yesterday.
The commentary is phenomenal. It's Yipes and who the fuck's the other guy? I don't know. But if you've watched like any fighting game tournament over the last 5 years, you've heard Yipes' commentary almost certainly. He's one of the funniest guys doing that kind of work right now.
And then it was Sonic Fox versus Goichi, who is
Yep.
like pretty much generally considered the best player of this game.
Like
Prior to this.
They're
neck and
constant,
neck, right?
They are constantly in contention for who is the best, because it's like there are other people who will take it, like Hook Gang God, Nakiel, Fenrich. Some of these
Because
people
they
will
both
like.
play a bunch of other games, right?
Goichi was a Melty Blood player, which Melty
Oh
Blood.
my god! So he was playing it in the lobby on a laptop.
He was playing it in a handicapped bathroom stall.
He was playing
if you
it
don't-
on a monitor taped to a ceiling while he was also taped to the ceiling.
not to explain the joke, but the thing about Melty Blood is that the only person, like, the thing about Melty Blood is that, like, no, it's never tournament sanctioned, so it's always just like some dude with a laptop being like, hey, I got Melty Blood, who wants to do a tournament? But yeah,
I
Sonic-
like that you're explaining the joke because I have no idea what the fuck that is.
What is
it's an
Sonic
it's an anime fighter.
The only
but,
thing I know about Melty Blood is that people play it on laptops in the lobby at Evo.
yeah,
That's about it.
Both of them have like storied histories. Goichi's in a lot of anime fighters, and Sonic Fox really made a name for himself on NetherRealm Studios games, so the Mortal Kombats and the Injustices. And then he just dove dick first into DBFZ, and he
Put
pretty
the
much
whole
the best
gay
player in the world.
community on his back, and he
Yes.
did it.
I'm just
And the
first
best
thing he
thing-
tweeted
the-
after he won.
I'm gay, and I'm also the best fucking DBFZ player in the world, and don't you forget it.
Yes.
And that's his pinned tweet currently, because I went to go check the wording on it.
And then
it's
2 days
his
later,
pinned
and then
tweet.
2 days later, he said, "Hey, thanks for all the new followers. Sorry if you see any gay furry porn. That's Twitter's fault, not mine."
Now,
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
now,
Like,
I
that's
think
a
we
mood.
all know that feeling.
Yeah, Sarah regularly putting furry booty ass on our timelines by liking it.
She's valid.
She's valid.
Hey,
But the other thing is,
speaking of games,
he also tweeted
I have
about.
Fuck Donald
this is
Trump.
the last thing for Sonic Fox.
Mm-hmm.
He also just tweeted like alt furs fuck off, Nazi furs fuck off, which was good. But
That's
I mean,
a
like
big sign.
he's a gay black furry, so like that just seems like par for the course. But it's also still good to see.
The thing about it is that, like, I mean, obviously I'm a big fan of the fact that he's a furry, but also, like, there is a changing tide. I think I'm almost certain that I've talked about this before on the podcast, so sorry if I'm repeating myself, but there is, like, a changing tide in the FGC. Like, the FGC has always been one of the more diverse, like, esports communities, because you always see, like, a lot of it is just, like, communities of people of color, like,
Yeah.
just playing games, but it is also expanding to be much, much more LGBTQ plus friendly. Like, I remember seeing Ricky Ortiz back when she came out back in, like, 2014, 2015. She is not as dominant a player as she was back in the days of Street Fighter 4, but she still shows up. She's still playing Smash. I think she's playing Street Fighter 5. I think she might have top 64 at EVO, which is impressive. People like Yohosier, not like absolutely a top 16, top 32 DBFZ player. Absolutely, like, one of my favorite Twitter accounts right now at Yohosier FGC. There is just like a growth, and like if you watch the Evo stream, there was a part where up on the main stage, a dude's boyfriend just like came up and kissed him full on the mouth for 10 seconds before his
gif.
match.
It was
Very
great.
good.
I enjoyed it. I was like, wow, video games are good now.
Yeah.
Fucking finally.
Wolf Howl.
We've been waiting.
I'm glad that gamers are finally valid.
I have a quick gaming shout out while we're talking about gaming.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Rest in peace to Luigi, who fucking died this
Yeah,
week.
Luigi died.
Luigi's fucking dead.
Yeah, I mean,
Luigi
what a way
died.
for Nintendo to finally end the year of Luigi.
It's been a long
died
year.
So that
It's been 6 years of Luigi.
Simon Belmont and King K. Rool can live. I was about to say Dante from the Devil May Cry series, but no, not confirmed.
That's next.
That
That
is
is
next. But like
Oh,
King K. Rool, I am
Smash.
very glad about this. I love video games.
I was trying to figure out, like, because I was going through, like, my Nintendo eShop, what's available to me on the Switch, and I was thinking
Yeah.
about, like, oh, what games are, like, I'm interested in, what am I thinking about playing, and I really just want to play Smash, and it's terrible, because...
See, I don't have a Switch yet because
It's
there's
in
no Pokemon
December.
or Smash on it yet, and then Pokemon
Yeah.
and Smash are coming this year, and then I'm gonna go fucking right in.
You excited to pay You excited to pay $80 for that?
I am very excited to. Pay
Oh,
$80
actually,
for
I
that.
haven't. Sorry, I have another gaming thing to get mad about before we go into questions and Lightbringers.
Is it that the world ends with you is going to be $60?
Yeah, it's the fact that The World Ends With You is going to be $60. So the thing is, The World Ends With You is one of my favorite games of all time. Absolutely one of the best games that Square Enix has ever fucking made. It is
And it's going to be
phenomenal.
re-released for $60 instead of less.
Sam, please, let me finish.
He's silencing women again.
It's what I do.
So, I love The World Ends With You. It came to me at a very important point in my life. It's my absolute favorite Nintendo DS game, one of my favorite Nintendo handheld console games. Phenomenal music, phenomenal art style, like costume design out the fucking ass. Like, everything about that game is phenomenal. And they're re-releasing it for the Switch. And it's coming out in, off the dome, I think it's October? Like October 17th, around then. And I did some Googling, so I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna pick this up, because I will always rebuy games for systems that I don't have anymore. I don't think I even have my 12-week cartridge laying around. And I'm like, I wonder how much this is gonna cost, and I look it up, and it's gonna be 60 fucking goddamn piece of shit dollars at release. It never was at that price point ever in its original release. It capped out, I believe original Nintendo DS titles were capped at like $45 for like brand new releases. Like that's what Pokemon games were
Yeah,
at.
even
That's
in
what the Mario
Canada, they
games
were only
at.
up to they only got up to 55 by the end,
Yeah.
and that's Canadian dollars, which is a garbage dollar.
Yes.
Cookout.
It's the cuck.
And now Nintendo wants to say, hey gamers, we're bringing this game back. We've remastered it. We put some more music in, and the music does fucking slap as hard as hell. I can't even lie about this. But also pay us $60 fucking dollars for this 10-year-old game.
Yeah, see, this is why they don't want any of their games in the public domain, so they can overcharge us for them.
Yeah,
later.
that's why they took the ROMs down.
Even though there is no way to get any of the old games right now.
For just 20 low payments of $40, you too can own Super Mario World on your Nintendo Switch.
The game that you own 8 times already, please pay for it again. We're Nintendo.
I mean,
That's what Pokemon is.
I'm still
See,
gonna
the thing
fucking
is, I'm
buy
still gonna
it.
fucking do it.
Like the thing,
And Sam, I'm not gonna take your bait because I know.
The thing is that like like the Wii U re-releases, I get it. Like Bayonetta, that's a couple of years old, and this is Bayonetta like came with Bayonetta 1, so like I'll shell out the 60 for that. Fine. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, sure, yeah, I'll take that. $60, a little steep, but you know what? That's fine. 10-year-old Nintendo DS game that got re-released on iPhone for $17. $60.
Isn't it based off the iOS one too?
What's that? The remaster?
Isn't it like based? Yeah. Isn't it like the
No,
similar
I
assets?
don't think so.
No.
That can't be true.
I know
I
that's
don't
what they
think
did.
it is.
I know that's what they did with the remasters of the Ace Attorney games. Is that they used the assets that they were using for the remasters there.
Anyway, Nintendo's back. Can we do questions?
Questions. If you'd like
Do
to
we
ask
have
a
any?
question, you can go to hkipgtd.tumblr.com/ask. If you send them anywhere else, we will forget to read them. Our first question is actually just a statement, which I think is responding to an old question. Lennon definitely did not have a big dick. It was moderately sized and boring. Thank you.
I have
Thank you
no
for
idea
the-
what that's in reference to. Edit that
Neither do
out.
I.
I'm glad you know that, but it's good.
Sam, it's in reference to Lennon's dick.
Yeah, it's in reference to the dick of Lennon. This is a question that
We
has
all-
been in the inbox for a little bit. We were just waiting for Sarah to come back to do it. What do you think Karl Marx's persona would have been, and why?
Lion.
Yeah, that's valid.
It's all the hair, but also I feel like he had the attitude of a lion. And the thing about lions is that they sleep for like 20 hours a day, because for those 4 hours that they're awake, they are the most efficient killing machines on the planet. I think Karl Marx could could kill me in a second.
And
if he
Karl
wanted
Marx
to.
would sleep all the time because he's a communist, so he's lazy.
Karl Marx, please call me.
I feel like we get this next question a lot. What are you all ideologically speaking? I am
Nope.
dumbass. So I'm just going to delete that. Let's just say
Yeah, we're all
we all
left-
exist on
We're
a
very
level of
stupid.
leftism. It's 8 months away, but I'm extremely looking forward to episode 69. So am I.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
That'll be really
Nice.
fucking nice.
Elon Musk is so
I hope
funny.
we're all alive then.
Okay.
Hey, we
And,
cannot let Elon Musk ruin the funny sex number 69.
Elon Musk is so funny.
You
I love
cannot
the number
take that from
69
us.
that Elon Musk came up with.
Here's the question from Anonymous. Jared Leto is Trump.
Twisted.
All right.
So let's go into Lightbringers. So, do y'all mind if I go first?
I don't mind at all. Go ahead.
My Lightbringer tonight this week is a game that was recommended to me by a friend of the show, host over at Barking Points, Ace, at a millennial dog on Twitter. Very good person. We started talking last night about video games, and I was like, man, I could go for a new Splatformer right now, because like I'd finished the End is 9 like a month ago. I 100%ed Celeste like 4 months ago, and I'm like, I need something fresh and juicy in my life. And he was like, buy Fly Wrench. Go play Fly Wrench right now. And I'm like, okay, I'll try this. $6. Okay. I found out today it was free. I don't mind paying $6 for it, giving it. And it's a really fucking cool Splatformer where you're like flying through these mazes as like a little rectangle that can turn red and do a free fall, or turn green and do a spin. And it sounds extremely simple, and it is, but it's an Ace described it as an exercise in minimalism, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Has some incredible music by some really good big name musicians like Daedalus and Baths are on there.
Oh, nice.
The entire soundtrack absolutely slaps city. My personal favorite right now is it's, hold on, I just want to double check, make sure I got the artist's name correct, because I don't want to get that wrong. It was... Wow, thanks.
DJ Khaled.
Yeah, I posted it in the Discord earlier, and I'm dumb as fuck for not.
The QAnon rap.
It was Just for Tonight by Mark Reddito.
Mark Reddito?
Redito.
Epic.
Funny Reddit?
Like Reddit.com?
Anyways.
Hey guys, what time does the Norwal bacon?
420.
Wait a minute. Thank you so much.
Anyways, so that's my Lightbringer this week. It's a good game. It took me like 4 hours to beat. Very hard, very fun.
I mean, my Lightbringer, I've already said, it's King K. Rool being added to Smash Bros. I fucking love that goddamn shitty lizard with the stupid ugly face.
Did you see the guy from Rare who was like, if I had known this would happen, I would have given him a better name?
Yeah. It's so good. I love the Males brothers. They're both very good. Because one of them named him, and then the younger, Steve Males, is the one who designed most of the characters that ended up in Donkey Kong Country. So, like, designed that character.
That's really cool.
I just really like Smash Bros, folks.
I mean, to echo that, I also was very happy to see that Captain from Animal Crossing and Shovel Knight are assist trophies in the new Smash. I was like, that's cool, because Shovel Knight's an indie game, and now
It's
in
really
Smash.
neat that Shovel Knight is an assist trophy.
But my actual Lightbringer is also a game, because this is the game podcast today, and it's kind of embarrassing, but I don't really care. It's called Sailor Moon Drops, and it is a match 3 Bejeweled puzzle game where it's just Sailor Moon themed. But the thing is that I think it's really like well thought out and well designed. Like, you can, get lives pretty frequently, so you don't have to do all of the pay to win kind of shit that you would have to do on another kind of app, and like everything moves really well, and also you can get all sorts of like bonus Sailor Moon characters and like wallpapers and shit like that. And I don't know, I just think for what it is, which is literally a Bejeweled clone, I think it's really, really good and fun and very addictive. So that was what I played on the 8-hour bus ride to Philadelphia. And
yeah,
guess what?
I saw you playing that on your phone like throughout Peacock Meetup.
Can I say I was playing it while we were recording? Because I needed to do something with my hands. And guess what?
we went to the fucking zoo, and we're just millennial stereotypes having Pokemon Go open the entire fucking time we were there.
I
You were
managed to
fetching
break away
Pokemon
with
creatures?
the non-Pokemon Go group of me, Lauren, and Zach. So thank God for that.
Can I say though, I do play Pokemon Go. I just wasn't playing it at the zoo because
You weren't playing it at the zoo, which is all that matters.
Me and Roy extremely were.
and that's valid.
It's valid.
Roy
But if you're
also
playing Pokemon
valid.
Go, how are you going to see the monkey dick that looks like a poo-poo?
There was a monkey dick that looked like a poo-poo, and I did see it. Also, did you see that those goats were just swanging?
They were swaying. You remember when
I'm gonna kill Zach.
Zach, standing with a bunch of strangers around, looked at a tiger's dick and said, huh, swangin'.
It's very funny to be at the zoo, and every time you see an animal's genitals, you just yell and point at it. It's good, because that's what I
Listen,
did
some-
the whole
listen,
The
time.
only way to go to the zoo.
Listen, some women be swangin'.
She be swanging.
Did we ever
It's a good
determine
zoo.
if the tiger had a fat pussy?
It was pretty big, so.
Oh, there it is.
I also saw some
killed
frogs,
Sam.
and I cried because they were really splendid.
Were
were
you
very
crying? I didn't want to like stare at you to determine whether you were crying, but it really seemed like you were crying.
I was getting there. I was tearing up. It was emotional.
They were really good frogs, is the thing.
I was a huge fan of the frogs, especially when I finally spotted the blue one
I love to look at frogs.
when we were looking at the tree frogs, and the
I
blue
didn't
one was
see the
way in
blue one. I
back.
saw the yellow one though.
He was hard to spot. He was hiding at the back, and when I spotted him, I almost teared up. He was very good. The Philly Zoo, that's an additional Lightbringer this week.
Great
it's
zoo.
very good.
Great
it's a
zoo.
good
Good
zoo.
zoo.
My Lightbringer, short one. Shout out to Keith Buckley from the good band Every Time I Die for telling MAGA fans of theirs to fuck off.
Nice.
That's good. My Lightbringer is PGOT Meetup, and since we've already spent like 75% of the episode talking about PGOT Meetup, I'm not going to go into detail, but it was nice to have some quiet conversation with my friends about John eating his aunt's pussy.
Yeah,
What
that's
part of our
Jon
conversation
Snow, the
was
character
quiet?
from Game of Thrones, for the record, in case anyone doesn't know what you're referring to when you say someone ate his
Yeah.
aunt's pussy.
It was Sarah's birthday, and we went to a homophobic bar named for one of the Seven Dwarves, and they played September, and when we spent $30 on fireball shots in plastic cups. It was a great day. I loved it.
I paid $6. I paid $3 to put 3 songs on the jukebox, and we waited there for a half hour. Didn't play.
That's
any
so homophobic.
I like the part where we stayed up until like 2 a.m. just swapping Game of Thrones funny moments.
I like
And
how
we
we
had to
finally
be very
watched,
quiet because it
Hold
was
the
after
Door.
noise hours. Quiet hours, whatever.
Yeah, I finally got to see the hold the door scene from the funny show Game of Thrones.
Can we get?
Did you like it, Sam?
Did you like it?
I could not fucking believe that scene was like a Family Guy tearjerker moments that people like cried at.
I think my favorite thing about it is how you heard the phrase that Summer the direwolf jumps into his own grave. And then you
Literally
finally got to
dives
see
And you didn't know that was
in
literal.
For no reason. Head first jumps into a fucking writhing pile of whites and dies instantly for no fucking reason.
they
Assisting
didn't
no
have the
one
budget for the
and
wolves.
helping
Does
nothing.
not delay, just says, I'm too expensive, goodbye.
Or that Leaf held on to the grenade. and
Cooks the fucking plasma grenade. What the fuck was that shit?
She cooked it, and then it blew up. And then Hodor held the door, and
He did
of
hold the
course,
door.
He held it, but then he could stop holding it. Like, they got a far enough head start that he could let go. But he had.
But
to
he had to die so it would be sad and then they would never talk about it again for the rest of the show. Who?
He was mentioned a single time, and it elicited no reaction from
We
the other
cannot.
person.
We've already been talking for an hour and a half.
Welcome
We
to Post Game of
cannot-
Thrones, the official.
We're
We're
done.
good. We're fucking done. Close us out.
Everyone, check us out. Check us out. We're HKIPGTD everywhere: Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Gmail. Thank you to Bisexual Punch Party on Reddit for that subreddit. On Patreon, if you support us at the $1 a month level, you get access to everything that we do, which is the bonus content, the Lightbringers, the pre-show, the post-show, everything. $5 a month gets you special user status in the Discord, and $10 a month gets you an even more special user status in the Discord, and you get to listen live. Thank you. And we will always shout out our $10 and $5 a month patrons. And I'm going to go straight through these because I've had 2 rock stars and I'm coming down off of them and I kind of want to die. Oh god, the patron list fucking sucks right now. What the fuck? Did they update?
Let's go.
Oh my god! Please show me
What's-
the patron manager. Jesus Christ, this sucks.
Patreon is
Hey,
really good.
remember-
Remember when we lost like 75% of our pledges?
So thank you very much to
In a day.
Tsuchinoko
Yeah.
Real, Pregnant Seinfeld, David Besser, Paige Messer, like a funny yay, Roan Berg, Lost in Foundation, Alex Schaub, Nick Jagged, Mogu the Panda, Tufster McGee, Pepperoni and Cheese, Carrie J, The Tallest Jew, Michael Weems, Sorry Jack, Non-Binary with Left B, 500 Bs, Ashy New, Summer Geist, Helga K, Delaney Fritz, M Chambers, Kadeho Jones, Harry Tomlinson, Dijon Jordan Hagen, Chaz Thunderguns, Benjamin Kingstone Freya, Scout Shiro, Pettas, Evan Lowe, Brett Hout, Stephanie Ruff, Ollie Anders, and Ellen the Anarcho-Lalandist.
Thank
Hell
you,
yeah.
Rockstar.
And thank you to the
Thank you,
Taxpayers
friends.
for the use of their song Evil
Fuck
Men
yeah.
from the album Cold Hearted Town. It slaps.
We like it.
Off the album.
And also shout out to Rob
Yeah.
Taxpayer. I still haven't actually set the HKIP Patreon to give him $5 every month, but I plan to do that eventually.
We don't know how.
I don't know how to do it without charging Josh's credit card.
If you want to find me, check me out on Twitter. My @ just changed. It is @SunhatZenya now because I wanted to change it to be a little bit more in line with my persona because I realized that every other furry and speedrunner I know has a handle and is not just like their fucking name. So that's @SUNHATZHENYA. On Twitter, on Tumblr, I'm Chie Satonakas, and on Twitch, I'm Gay Lulu, and I'm trying to stream more, but things keep popping up, but I'm trying to get at least one stream a weekend, so catch me doing Mega Mans.
I'm Matt. You can find me on Twitter at MattGCN. Don't really look at me anywhere else. I do 3 other podcasts on this very network called Noise Space, which has like a name and a logo now, so please go check it out at noisespace.xyz. We have launched several new podcasts lately, including City Girls Make Do, featuring Stephanie
Good
and
podcast.
host of the show Alex, and also launching today, probably launching before this episode is posted, is a new podcast from Summer and Noah Geist called My Pod Cabbages, which
Hell
is
yeah.
an Avatar The Last Airbender rewatch podcast. The podcasts that I do are 2 inactive ones called
Fuck yeah.
The Field Guide to Canadiana and Elite Full Restore, which are
I
that
can't
second one's
believe
about
you're
Pokemon.
plugging that podcast.
Oh yeah, I
Hey,
forgot
the
to
2
plug.
episodes are both good.
I forgot to plug my podcast, The Wonder Years, which is an Animorphs rereading podcast I do with friends of the show, Seda and Blair, and Fear Baiting, which is a horror movie podcast that I do with friend of the show, Blair.
Both of them are coming back eventually. Don't worry about it. The third podcast is one that is going to be updating regularly. It's called Giants Confirmed. It's about They Might Be Giants. Me and my friend Trevor are going through the entire They Might Be Giants discography, album by album. Episode 1 is available now on noisespace.xyz. That's Z for you Americans.
Oh. Sorry, I was busy thinking about how big my dollar is.
It's the ultra strong dollar.
All right. Well, I'm Lauren, and you can find me on Twitter at @LeBlanc_ or on Tumblr at Run the Gems. And this is the only podcast I do. So thanks for listening.
I'm Sam. You can find me at twitter.com/PosiStress. I also have a podcast called Jurgen It that I do with my brother where we talk about the bad show The Secret Life of the American Teenager. Also, side note, I've been trying to put more clips on our YouTube, so if you have any recommendations for HKIP funny moments that you want me to clip, let me know.
I'm Caroline, and you can find me on Twitter at @CSavage with 2 V's. This has been Podcast.
That's a podcast. This has been Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die,
And
not a
that's
threat,
podcast.
just
Just
a
a
fact.
Just a fact.
Just a fact. Memento Pokemori, everyone.
Memento Pokemori.
Mento Pokemori, motherfuckers!
Bye.
Brainwave names, for example, got a high kick, correct, and select to show you got the best. Crystal, Ballista, over now. Psycho Cane, Yusa King, use them on Candy Cane. 4K, Cobra, Freak, got a high kick. Mister, the Twister, Monster with the roaster. Stick it up and take it up, step beside you. Effects and defective, take a bow to the moon. Brainwave names, for example, got a high kick, correct, and select to show you got the best. Crystal, Ballista, it's all over now. Psycho Cane, Yusa King, use them on Candy Cane. 4K, Cobra, Freak, got a high kick. Mister, the Twister, Monster with the roaster.
You're valid.